Our sailor is closer to finding a way across this ocean because he heard of a sailor at the tavern who was willing to traverse these waters. Oh, and the water jug makes a reappearance for this one. All right, so we're on track 14, day 14. Wow, this is ramping up. And so we have come to the decision we've got to get across this ocean. We have got to get further along our journey. Our spirit has called us onward, and we heard a rumor that there might just be a man at this tavern who may or may not be brave enough to actually cross this sea that lies outside of this town, sandwiched between this town being sandwiched between the desert and the ocean. And so this track is another ambient track, but it uses a like straight mandolin. That's pretty much, or I guess mandolin is the bass, but it's pretty much just mandolin because it's very gritty and very. You'll hear a lot of ambient track sounds again, getting geared up for this journey as our protagonist goes in to find this man and kind of does a bit of like an under the table kind of trade deal because this isn't really something that's supposed to be done. Maybe he's a fishing vessel, or maybe he is a some kind of freight carrying vessel for this sea. It's not really supposed to haul people, so this supposed to be kind of under the table, late evening kind of deal where it's kind of just being done, and he's doing this because he wants the money, and our adventurer needs a way across, but he's not really supposed to be doing it. So, like I said, very gritty, very mandolin oriented because it kind of has that. Well, I don't know, it has a pretty sailor vibe to me. I'm pretty proud of it. So, here we go. Let's go ahead and play it. Alrighty. And that is today's track. Like I said, the name of this one is There's a Sailor in the Tavern Who Will Take Me. Well, make sure I get this right. There's a sailor at the tavern who traverses these waters. Thought 14. I write these titles literally right as I am, quite literally, like right, right after I write these songs, and I kind of forget them a lot of times because they're really long titles because they're full thoughts. So a few of the ambient sounds you're hearing here, we have kind of that crowd coming back in that we heard in, I believe, track 11. We have footsteps again, but this time it's with intention. So it's out the door, through the crowd, or I guess, or into the door, really, is what this one is. Into the door, into this restaurant, this tavern. Goes, pulls up a chair. You kind of hear, I don't know if you can hear that. That's what I use to kind of get the chair scooting out effect. Is just this little metal table scooting across the ground to get that ambient effect. Plops down, throws some, or I guess grabs something to drink, which I use with the big jug again. I've been using this big jug because it makes so many different noises. And it's literally just unscrew, takes a drink, puts the cap back on, screws it on, and sets it down. You'll hear some of that in there. Also, there's a lot of change and cash being counted out. Like I said, this is a trade for like for him to like secretly take him across this ocean, even though he's not supposed to do this. So, this is I literally just had a jar of like loose change that my wife, every time there's loose change laying around the house, Elaine grabs it and shoves it into this jar. So I went over there. There was a few bills and some change, and I literally just used money and threw it right here on my desk that I'm sitting at, and that's what I got. Use the microphone to pick that up and use that. So that's a lot of the ambient sounds you hear with that. Then, of course, our traveler gets up, walks out, shuts the door, and runs off to go get on the boat, or to go stow away in the boat overnight, is kind of the way I like to think of it. So port authorities don't catch him the next morning before they ship out. Just some of those random little things that made up this track. It's probably the shortest track we've had in a little while. A lot of these I started out saying, oh, these are going to be about a minute each. That's been a lie. These have been full songs. Most of them, I don't think many of them at all, other than a couple at the beginning, have fallen under the 2 minute mark. Most of them have been over the 3 minute mark or close to it. And this one specifically is actually right just past the 2 minute mark. So it's kind of a transitional track to the rest of the story, or I guess to the point of which we're getting on to the boat onto the ocean. So that pretty much sums up this one. Let me know what you guys think. And if you haven't done so far, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel and drop me a comment in the comment section. And let me know how you're enjoying it so far. I'm super excited for this to make its way over to Spotify and iTunes and let you guys hear it all the way through. But until tomorrow, yeah, I'll see you then.